Hi, and welcome to the Skill House channel. Now, Skill House is a virtual learning space that brings together engineering students and top industry experts. We help students acquire industry-level technical skills along with their graduation course to create better developers for the future. And today we have with us Mr. Dikshith. And Mr. Dikshith is the CEO of CodeCraft. And CodeCraft is a software company that was found by very young and enthusiastic entrepreneurs with their love of coding. Welcome, Dikshith.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Dikshith, tell us about CodeCraft.
Sure. Yeah. Firstly, thank you for inviting me here. And I should say you guys are doing a very good job in terms of bridging between academics and the industry.
Right.
So just to explain you some details or share some details about the company itself. So CodeCraft is a 11-year-old company. We started with the focus on mobile application development because then when we started, there were very few companies with that skill, right? Today, we do much more. We are one of the leading companies when it comes to design, solution design. We have very good skills on cloud applications. We've built very large-scale cloud applications. We do work with a lot of new technologies, edge computing. We've built solutions at scale.
Right.
We have solutions where there are over 100 million users. We've built solutions which are required by very large companies in the cloud security space. CodeCraft is known for its design skills. We do work with a lot of large companies. We do work with a lot of startups. Few of them have become unicorns this year and last year around the world. We do work with various innovation teams of different companies. Yeah, so that's what we do.
Oh, that's quite a bit. In 11 years, your company has grown in leaps and bounds. Yes.
Yeah, we've been very fortunate, I would say, to work with a few of the very interesting customers. And we've been fortunate to get very challenging problem. So in last 11 years, we've grown actually without a sales team. We didn't need one, right? We focused on very good quality delivery, and that has taken us a long way from what we were to what we are today.
Fantastic. Dikshith, you started with mobile computing and into cloud and very, very big clients now. What are the technologies that you're working on now?
Okay. So we have always been on the forefront of the new age technologies, right? So today, cloud is a very big thing, right? And it is a necessary a part of every digital transformation for any company,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So we have a very large team working on cloud transformation. We help our customers to build solutions on the cloud. The latest focus that we are doing is on data visualization and AI and ML. So we've put together a very strong team. In next few years, we see that is going to grow a lot. We do work on automation. We even in the mobile space, from native complex SDKs to cross-platform tools like Flutter, React Native, and things like that. So we work on all of these tools. From the design side, we predominantly use Figma. We use other tools as well, but Figma is something that we are using today.
Dikshith, now, what do you think are the company's focus and goals in the next 5 years?
Okay, so currently the focus is on building a very strong base and skill set or use cases on one is the automation. So first is organizing data, second step is automation, and third step is adding intelligence, right? So AI and data visualization, AI ML and data visualization is our core focus now. And I feel, there are other applications related to Industry 4.0 also we are focusing on, right? So this is where we are investing our maximum time right now. And we have already built amazing capabilities, some fantastic use cases for our customers worldwide. And the next 5 years, the focus will be more on that.
Excellent. Because this question is very pertinent, because as of this year and last year, the technical university in Karnataka has bought in courses, AIML, data visualization, data science, as along with the core branches. These branches have more or less, I wouldn't say mushroom, but definitely the focus is shifting towards that. So what do you think are the growth opportunities for a lot of these youngsters who are taking up computer science and other branches and are focused towards that? Does it fit in with this scenario that we talked about, with the 5-year scenario?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it is very much relevant today. A few years ago, there were very few use cases. But today, there is a clear path, right? Focus on big data, focus on visualization, focus on intelligence, adding intelligence to whatever you're doing is very much the future thing, right? And every company, every corporation is trying to take some intelligent decisions based on data instead of depending purely on emotions, right? Data is the new thing, right? So the data is the new fuel, as people say, right? So people can take very well informed decisions by just understanding the data. So I think definitely that should be the focus for any student.
What do you guys do at CodeCraft?
Okay, so like a short answer is we help our customers in different stages of their digital transformation journey. And how do we do it, and who our customers are? So just this year, right, 2022, right, we've signed up with the third most valued tire company in the world. This customer is from Germany, and we are helping them in few of the innovation projects they are working on. Very at different levels of complexity, but definitely very interesting, right? We signed up with one of the largest retailers in the US and started working on a very interesting, again, to do with data visualization and things like that. We signed up with the poster boy for startups in Indonesia, like the largest startup in Indonesia in their automation journey this year. We also are working with the 12th unicorn, that's just in 2022, along with many other projects that we are working on, right? Last year, there was a cloud security company that we've been working on, which is acquired by Microsoft. There is another company which went public in NASDAQ last year. There are many companies. One of the most renowned OTT platform in India, we work with them. We work with the third largest cable company in the US. We work with one of the largest, or the largest hospital in the East Coast of US, and we are working on a solution for the cancer patients there. The list goes on, right?
Yes, and on.
So, we work with very interesting projects and very large brands from different geographies.
And like you said, this is without a sales team.
Without a sales.
Excellent.
Yes, absolutely.
Dikshith, now how do you manage resources? And when I mean resources, these are very human resources. Now, how do you manage them? And this question is in two parts. One is lateral resources and freshers.
Okay. Now, this is like the most hot topic of last 2 years, right? Because managing resource has gone to a very different level of complexity. Right? And specifically when people are working remote, it just adds to more challenges and things like that. Right? So we have a very streamlined process, right? For freshers, what we realized in the industry last 2 years, there are multiple challenges, right? So we till last year the focus was more on hiring laterals only,
Yes.
right? And what we realized last year while interviewing a lot of people that we saw there has been a gap in terms of our expectation versus their expectation, right?
Yes.
So last year we took a very conscious decision that we as a company will invest in training a lot more, right? So we have a phenomenal trainer who has joined us. Actually, he picked me from campus while I was studying, right? So, and the same guy will be training many more people in the company, right? He's one of the best in the industry, I would say. And this year, the focus is on training a lot of lateral freshers. We also see there are different levels of challenges there as well. Again, what an industry expects versus what a person who is seeking employment expects, right? So we saw there, even computer science students were not matching the expectation of the industry, right? So we took a conscious decision that going forward, we will be training resources not necessarily from computer science background. So we are also doing zero coding experience training starting this year. We have already taken up the first batch. So every quarter we'll be taking a batch because that's a rate at which we are scaling.
Oh,
right?
Okay.
So every quarter he'll be taking a decent size batch. We'll be training them on different things. So in terms of fresher training, we take them through 3 stages. The first stage is fundamentals. And this, even if a person doesn't have any coding experience in the past, but a very sharp analytical skills,
Yes.
the person should be, they should know how to reason and get closer to the solution. If we feel we have our way to analyze that, right? And we have certain high standards set for that. So as long as people can clear it, we accept them for the training process. So first 3 months, we do a fundamental training. And after 3 months, they will be assigned with one leader from different department. And the leader focuses on technologies which is specific to what they do, right? Our idea is any person who joins us should be comfortable coding in more than one language, right? Because we feel when people become language agnostic, they perform much better, right? And they have a very natural instinct towards learning new things, right? Otherwise, people get stuck to one thing, and they become irrelevant in the near future, right? So these are the things. And the third one, what we do is a live project training, and then they are on their own.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. So this is what we do for training.
Excellent. And that's, I think, real good news to hear that companies are looking at zero coding experience and trying to hire them, because a lot of very, very good students are there in I wouldn't say in parallel streams of engineering, who are very good analytically, and as I think engineers are more problem solvers, and so if you have a problem,
absolutely, we need more problem solvers, right? So when people, challenges is going to happen, right? Every day we have different challenges, right? So we need more of problem solvers. As as soon as we identify that this person has that skill, then from there we take it forward with our training process.
Excellent. Dikshith, that was really, really an eye opener for me, listening to the training process. But could you explain the hiring process, especially of fresh graduates?
Sure. Yeah. So we have multiple rounds of interviews. It starts with first is we assess analytical skills. That's the most important thing for us. We also have a coding round for computer science students.
Yes.
For a non-computer science student, we don't do that. We have different ways of assessing these guys, right? And if you are from computer science background, we have a bunch of programming, a bunch of multiple choice questions that is given to you as a first round. Second round, we do have our experts from the company, trying to analyze your data structure or specific programming skills based on language that you prefer. And the third round is personality evaluation. So for us, that is very important. Communication, the personality itself. So all this is done in the HR round.
In the HR round.
Yeah.
Okay. And do they come to your office, the CodeCraft office, or do you go to colleges?
We just started, visiting colleges because the kind of work we do is very different from a volume hiring kind of thing, right?
Correct.
So we are very picky about the kind of people we want to work with. So till last year, we didn't focus much on visiting colleges, but we would invite, profiles from colleges and hire. Now we started because now we want to do this at scale. So we have visited a few colleges. Yes.
Excellent. Okay.
And a few colleges also arrange pool campus, so we consider that also as a good opportunity to interact with more students.
Yeah. Correct. I think post-COVID it will be a little better because when COVID time this was a little difficult.
Yeah.
Correct. Dikshith, the one question I think I forgot to mention because you told about freshers. Engineering, when we're talking about engineering freshers and others, that means MC and BCA, or do we have, is there any specific hiring criteria?
Yeah, at this point, for technical work, we hire engineers and MCAs only. Yeah.
Only
and for design, we have a different, we hire people from design schools and people who have those skills. We've also hired engineers in our design team who had a passion and who can demonstrate what they can do in terms of design. And we've seen people who have proactively picked up tools and built very good skills there. So we've considered them in our design team.
Excellent. Analytically good designers. I think that's a very good.
That's a great combination.
That's a great combination. Yes. One of the questions that keeps cropping up when we speak to industry experts is this gap between industry and academia. And what's your take on it?
Okay. So instead of, what I would say is we don't expect a student who is ready to be deployed in a project, right? So we understand they're freshers, but what we need is a person who is trainable. Right?
Yes.
So I feel what academia should focus on, language. Today I see educational institutes are doing amazing work in terms of giving exposure towards various things, which is phenomenal. It's a good effort from their side, right? What we have seen that, if people are not trainable, right? So they kind of get lost very soon in their career, right?
Yes.
And some people are, we've seen that they just don't have an appetite to learn, right? They're already too comfortable, right? And in the industry, that doesn't work, right? So I would suggest what academia should focus is grooming people.
Right.
One is, though these are very obvious things, but not obvious, like communication, right? So if somebody is doing engineering, there's like 4 years, right?
Correct.
So do continuous, give them platforms where every single student has to present and talk, right? Because communication has been the biggest challenge, right? People not able to communicate what they should and how they should.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
And, and communication should always be backed with data, right?
Yes.
It should not be like what I feel and this and that, right? So building that personality, right? So when I say something, there should be a reasoning why I'm saying that, right? So for me, when I was studying in St. Aloysius, I was doing my MCA, right? We had a professor called Jacob. He's no longer there, late Jacob, sir. During our college days, it was too much of a stress for us, because impressing him was close to impossible, right? But today we really appreciate what he has done, right? Because he pushed us to pick up topics that is not easily available.
Right.
He pushed us towards preparing ourselves. He pushed us towards presenting in a very nice way. And every year we had to do it.
Every year you have to do it.
So I think that is one thing colleges should focus on.
Definitely.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, people come with different backgrounds. That's absolutely fine. Right? But 4 years is a lot of time. Right?
Yes.
Push them towards doing this, because at some point, they should be whoever. If I want to get into the industry, if I'm very passionate, or if I'm very serious about building a career in a certain stream or domain, right? Then I definitely need to build skill that is required. I cannot say that I want to do that, but I don't want to put in effort. That cannot happen, right? And this is one area that I would say colleges should focus on.
Correct, because they keep calling it soft skills. They should stop calling it soft skills, and they should say it's essential skills.
Essential. It is absolutely essential. Right? Because we have seen many times this is where people go wrong.
Correct.
And this is absolutely essential. I think it's very important for colleges to focus. Yeah. With that, obviously, they need to build technical skills and things like that. And but these are extremely important.
Extremely important. Yes. Dikshith, a lot of terminologies and a lot of tech has been thrown around. What do you think are the technologies that are trending now in the industry?
Actually, there are many domains which are doing very well, right? But if I have to pick few things based on what we do and what we understand, I think today focus first is please focus on fundamentals. Don't just jump into trending technology, because trends, as they say, it keeps changing, right? That is what is trend, right? So focus on your fundamentals first, right? I think today, as a company, we are focusing a lot on data science, AI, ML, adding intelligence, automation. These are things that will remain for a very long time. And if you build your skills around this, I think it will be very good for everyone. Yeah. And there are a lot of Industry 4.0 use cases also. IoT based, making factories intelligent, data driven decision making and things like that. So that is also one thing which is absolutely growing. And another thing is cloud security. There's a lot of, obviously today everyone are putting data on the cloud, right?
Very true.
And there are a lot of chances that things can go wrong, right? What if all your data gets deleted, right? Some person with malicious intent, breaks into the system and breaks all the deletes all the data, or injects some kind of malicious code, right? So cloud security is one area that that's growing very fast. One of our clients, 3-4 years ago, they started, and they got acquired by Microsoft last year. And we have another client who is working on something like this. And we have friends who have done really well in the US and in other places, right? So this is one more, cloud security, identity management, managing resources on the cloud. These are the things, provisioning, right provisioning of your cloud and things like that. These are some very important aspects, along with data intelligence, AI, ML.
Yes. Dikshith, we talked about artificial intelligence, machine learning. These are all new and really advanced technologies in a way. And you talked about fundamentals. How do you think they can go on about learning all of this? Fundamentals are important. Is there anything more they can do to learn these technologies?
Sure. So I think, for somebody who is getting out of college, who is trying to build their career, I think the best thing to do today is they need to fundamentals, data structures, all these things are mandatory. So I will not even mention that. And I think colleges do focus on that.
Correct.
In terms of what is, for somebody to get a job or build a career in a certain area, I think, the mobile application side will always be there, right? It is part of anything that you do today, right? It cannot be considered separate. That's one area which is very easy to build. There are enough online resources to build that. The other thing on the cloud, right? Building solutions on the cloud. This is a very vast topic, okay? So, there are different clouds, infrastructure providers and things like that. The best way to learn, I think, is to go ahead and do certifications on that. And there are certifications for free that is available from different infrastructure providers. So I think it's better to pick some online course, do a hands-on. So one thing I would say is people need to be hands-on, right? This is not a theory subject. Anything to do with programming and computers, you have to be hands-on, right?
Yes.
It is not like doing 15 programs in your lab and finishing, right?
Yes,
the more you program, the better you become. And the more you challenge yourself, the better you become. And industry, it is getting very, very competitive. There are many more engineers coming out of colleges every year. So unless you are one of the top 10%, it is going to be extremely hard for anybody to get a right job. So I think you should be dedicated, program as much as possible, pick up challenges, pick up online courses, follow some influencers. I mean, everything that students do today. I think that's
hands-on.
Hands-on. You have to be absolutely hands-on. Yeah.
Right. Dikshith, we talked about you, your company, and freshers in colleges. Let's hear your backstory.
Okay. So I've done my master's in computer application from St. Aloysius College. What I would say is I was a very chilled out student then. The seriousness happened once I got selected in a company. So my advice to everyone is, like, even if you are not very serious about what you want to do, if you are confused about what you want to do, that's absolutely fine. What is important is, are you ready now? Right?
True. Very true.
So I have before starting the company, I worked for 3.5 years. A fantastic journey. I have put in a lot of effort, and that actually taught me a lot more, and that was a foundation to CodeCraft.
Correct. Super. You worked for 3.5 years with the company before moving to become an entrepreneur. Now, that is a very, very big change. A 9-to-5 job. You said it's not 9 to 5, but still. But let's take, for example, it's a 9-to-5 job, and then you're moving on to take up something on your own. You're leading something. Was it challenging? How challenging was that to you?
Okay. So first thing, right? If a person has a 9-to-5 mindset, that person should just not get into entrepreneurship, right?
Yes.
So it is going to be a hell of a ride. It's not easy at all.
Right.
And don't jump into entrepreneurship for the coolness of it. It is not cool at all, right? I mean, there is no disclaimer here. That's a reality, right? Many a times you end up doing not what you signed up for.
Yes.
But that's important.
Correct.
Right? So entrepreneurship is whenever you're ready. Don't jump into it. If you're not ready now, it's absolutely okay to work because whenever you are you have decided to be an entrepreneur, you should be very clear about why, right?
Yes.
And what you want to do, right? And if you're doing it because everyone else is doing it, your interest will change in 6 months or 1 year, right? So be very clear till you're clear what you want to do. And another important thing is you need to have the skill that is required, right? Can you kind of build whatever you're trying to build on your own, right? Do you have that skill? I think having that skill is a greater advantage unless you find a co-founder who can fill in for that skill, right? So it is a big, for me, I used to work the same way. So in terms of work, there is not much of a difference.
Yes.
But in terms of responsibilities, there's many more responsibilities, and first-hand experience of many challenges. I would say at different stages of company, you have different kind of challenges,
Correct.
right? This whole journey is explained very well in a book called Blitzscaling.
Yes.
I mean, whoever wants to understand that, when you're a small team, the challenges are very different, right? When you grow, people see it like it's like a city, how you take a decision, like a village, right? Everybody and things like that.
Right.
Then you become a slightly bigger company, right? And then you become a very large company. You don't know. It's like, a prime minister managing a country, right?
Yes.
Decisions are taken at different, and at a very different scale, in a very different way, right? So at different stages, we have different challenges, but I think those things people will learn with experience.
Correct.
But one thing for sure, you need to have a great appetite for taking stress. Absolute great. You will face different kind of challenges every single day.
Very true.
And if you're a person who will give up soon, I would not recommend. So it's okay if you're not taking, entrepreneurship. It's absolutely fine. It is not necessary for you to take entrepreneurship, right? So whenever you're ready, take it up then. Yeah.
But be ready for.
Yeah, be ready. Yeah.
Yeah, be ready for all of the responsibilities. And all of. Now, Dikshith, you've done your MCA, and you must have been having your final year projects. And there is a definite trend within engineering students. One trend is of getting projects from somewhere, and then doing something to it and getting it, presenting it. What would you tell students who are going into their final year projects, or maybe their mini projects? What's your advice to them?
Yeah. So I have a very first-hand experience with this. There were a few students who, when we were much smaller and things like that, people walked into our office, and I have a habit of going through resumes and asking questions from there.
Yes.
And I was shocked to know one of the students didn't even know what project he's done, and it was on his resume,
Yes.
right, on his CV. So this is bad, right?
Yes.
So if you're very serious about your career, you have to be a little serious about what it takes to excel in that career,
Very true.
right?
Very true.
So I would recommend, don't go for paid projects. Pick up smaller problems, that's okay, but you do it, right? It is joining work is not end of thing. It's just the beginning.
Yes,
right?
very true.
So if you don't have the skill, in 6 months, you might be fired, right? And that would be a much bigger problem, right? Rather, invest in like few months, right? First, pick a problem. It's okay if the problem is already solved. There are many products which are similar, right? There's Swiggy and then there is Zomato, right?
Yes.
And then there are many other products.
Yes.
So it's okay if you're picking similar challenges. But what is important is what you have done and what is that you have done differently.
Correct.
Right? So just try to, if you don't know, if you don't have real problem, if you don't get like real projects, it's okay. Pick up challenge and try to solve it in a different way, but a well thought one. Right?
Thought of, yeah.
And while you're doing that, build skills that is required. And you can talk about those skills. People love hiring students like those, right? I would love hiring, right? In our company, we get very excited when we meet passionate students, right? And it's fun working with them, right? And we have worked with few very, very interesting kids from different colleges.
Exactly. And one of the questions that I think this is connected to projects, because pre-final year and I think coming towards final year, they tend to have a period of internships. They have to do internships. And what would be your advice be to them with respect to internships? Because it's very different from projects, because internships are with the company. What would your advice be to those students?
Yeah, I think internship is very important, and not all companies offer it.
Very true.
Including, I would say we are one of the culprits. The reason we do offer very few internships, because there is a reason to that. We are a lean team, and we are like most of the best guys are busy with different projects,
correct.
Right? But we do offer internship to people whom we hire,
right?
Because that's important and things like that. But we have picked up some very interesting students with we have gauged their curiosity, and we have picked selective students from different colleges. We have picked few students from NITK Surathkal last year on data science. We've picked few students from PSIT, some very interesting students, right, who really had a passion to build. We picked one student from Malocious who was very focused. He wanted to build games. He was very clear with that. So we like to work with students with a very clear idea on what they want to do, right? Yes. Internship is very important. Even if you don't get internship, I know sometimes it is a challenge. It's okay. Work on a problem that you think is important,
right,
and solve it in a way which is interesting, right? Where you build skills on, either mobile application or some kind of cloud itself, right? Like if you talk about Amazon, there is so many services out there,
true,
right?
True.
Pick few things you think, okay, this is like the best way to solve it. You get exposure towards different services they offer. Build that. Companies would love to work with you if you already have that skill.
Very true. Very true. That's true. Dikshith, could you, since you're on the Skill House channel, could you tell us about how about Skill House?
Sure. Firstly, I'm very happy somebody's taken initiative to train students at a very early stage, right, and
True.
prepare them and make them industry ready, right? This is exactly what we are also trying to do with the fundamental training that we have picked. And we ourselves were thinking, if this happened while they were in college, maybe a semester before, it would have been fantastic. But I think Skill House is solving that problem, which is very good.
Very true.
I think, students should take such programs very seriously if they are serious about their career, right? And kudos to what Skill House is doing. I would say all the very best. Do well. Keep improving your interaction with the students. I would also say, along with technical skills, personality development, and communication, right? How you need to speak, what is okay, what is not okay. If you can touch upon these topics also, these are very sensitive things.
True.
I think if you can touch upon this, it would be an extremely good thing for overall grooming of students.
Excellent. Right? And since the profession and the industry that they are is so global, right, and that you don't want things to be lost in translation.
Absolutely.
It has to be very clear what you're
Absolutely, to the point. Always, when you're speaking, just don't pick things from thin air, right? Always back it with data. And for that to happen, you need to be very confident in first place. And for that to happen, you need to have worked enough, right?
And I think you need very good mentors also, which is what I think Skill House has, where the people from the industry are training and
fantastic. This is brilliant.
So they kind of get the taste of all of this before they kind of go and think. It becomes easier for people who are recruiting because they already know, okay, this is
I mean, every company would want to recruit people who have a certain ability to understand what is required in the industry, right? So if it is already trained, I think they will get first preference over many others.
Excellent.
So I would highly recommend for everyone to pick up trainings like this and take advantage of that, and I'm sure it will lay a very good foundation for your career.
All right, Dikshith, that was an absolutely brilliant interview. It was such a pleasure meeting you from an alumni of Aloysius. It's such a big pleasure to meet fellow Aloysians and fellow Mangalorians who are doing such good work. It was a pleasure having you on Skill House.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for inviting me here.
Thank you so much.